What's going on, everybody? We got a little wild card weekend live stream coming up for you. I was planning on letting that intro screen run for a little longer, but I mean, this Jags-Bills game is going down to the wire. 24-20, Jags lead it. 1:05 to go. Bills previously with a 4th and 1. Josh Allen was carried about 8 yards near to the end zone, and then he rushes in another quarterback sneak. Bills lead it 26-24 with an extra point on the way. About a minute to go for the Jags if they want to come back. Man, wild card weekend has been electric. Same play. Josh Allen takes the snap, goes to the left. No doubt about it. He's in by a lot. And Matt Prater comes on for a huge extra point, because if he misses this, a field goal rather, wins the game for the Jags. Extra point. It's good. Right down the middle. Buffalo goes ahead by 3. All right, we're back. I just had to figure something out here on the back end. But we're set for this final minute and change. And as we get going here on the stream, a reminder to call in at 848-305-8073 if you want to talk to me, debate the NFL, really whatever. We're talking NFL mainly on this stream, but if you have something else you want to get off your chest, by all means, call into the stream and we could talk about it. So much pressure on the Bills in this game. I'll just start with that. I mean, if they lose, I think Sean McDermott is out as head coach. There's just so much talent on the market this year in terms of head coaches that if you fire McDermott and I'm sitting here as John Harbaugh, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to Buffalo. I mean, you have a proven quarterback who has been to AFC Championship games. They haven't been able to break through yet, but I think I don't know if it's a better head coach or just a different voice in the locker room. I can bring them to the Super Bowl. And from a Bills perspective, why do you think you're going to get... Oh, there's a pick. The Bills intercept Trevor Lawrence. No timeouts for the Jags. That'll do it. Sean McDermott, I don't know why I keep calling him McVay. McDermott lives to see another day as Bills head coach. Man, another banger. This was deflected off the Jacksonville wideout and into the arms of number 24. Who is that? Bishop was the recipient. A tip drill. Solid coverage from the Buffalo DB also. I think he had his hand in there. Oh, man. What a way to end it. All right now. Buffalo survive in advance. The will to win. I mean, all of these games, it's been the same story. The team who isn't supposed to win goes up late in the game, but then the favorites come back. Actually, I don't think the Bears were betting favorites last night. I think the Packers were. But in my eyes, and by the way, my wild card predictions are still 3-0. You can go view that video on my Instagram at @thesportspod_Ben. While you're there, might as well hit the follow button, you know? Not taking that much extra effort out of your day. Yeah, but I picked the the Rams last night. I thought that game was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Then I picked the Bears. I was doubtful about that pick for a long time because the Packers jumped out to a 21-3 lead in that game. And then why do I keep confusing teams right now? The Bears kept chipping away. They stayed within striking distance as they've done all year. And they found a way to come back. They struck at the last second. All right, let's get the Eagles game up. I don't know what channel. It should be on Fox, I think. I don't know exactly what time that game starts at. I would assume maybe 4:25. So we got about 15. Is that math? No, we got more than 15 minutes. About 20 minutes here before we kick off. 4:30. So we got about 25 minutes then to chill out, discuss the wild card weekend thus far. I mean, that was another great game, but I'm gonna start with the first game of the weekend. Rams and Panthers. I mean, personally, I didn't think the Panthers should have been in the postseason. I mean, they were sub 500 when there were teams in the NFL that had teams in the NFC that had records above 500. In my eyes, the best teams in the NFL with the best records should be in the dance. I mean, you're criticizing people for playing in tougher divisions when they have to play tougher teams and still have a better record. It doesn't make sense in my eyes, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at that game. It was the Rams coming out on top, 34-31. Matt Stafford led a game-winning drive. Puka had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. Then Carolina scored 17 of the next 20 points scored. It was really back and forth the whole way. 7-0 LA after 1, 17-14 LA after 2, 20-17 after 3, and then 34-31 after 4. So not really back and forth, but highly contested. I mean, it was a 3-point game for the majority of this contest. Matt Stafford, in my opinion, the NFL MVP, threw 3 touchdowns and an interception, 304 passing yards on the evening. Bryce Young, who I'm still not sold on. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he lives on making the right reads. And in this one, 260 passing yards, a touchdown, and an interception. I don't think that's good enough in a playoff game. I mean, if you're going to beat a Rams team that for a lot of the year was the best in the NFC, you're going to have to play near perfect football, and the Panthers weren't able to do that. I mean, they muffed a punt in the first half. I remember watching that play. They muffed that punt. I mean, there's an interception there. If I look at the box score, looking for the turnover margin, one interception for the Rams. I can't find fumbles. Why can't I find fumbles? 3 tackles for loss. I can't find. I guess there wasn't a fumble, probably. Oh, 1 fumble. It was just on the punt return. So it just wasn't the cleanest game for the Panthers. And if Dave Canales and Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard and J.C. Horn and Xavier Legette, all those guys, if they were going to beat the Rams for a second time this year, which, by the way, I thought was going to be nearly impossible, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford are 2 of the best coaches are 2 of the best people overall in the NFL. I mean, McVay, I would put him up there, top 3 coach. Stafford, even in this year. Oh, look at this. We have our first caller. How's it going? What's your name and where you from?
What's up, Ben? My name's Jack, and I'm from Bernardsville.
All right, Jack, what you got for me?
I want to talk about this Packer game yesterday. A little frustrating, right? We saw McManus. That's brutal. The missed field goal and the missed extra point. But I want to get your take on the coaching, because I personally don't think LaFleur should be fired, but there are people calling for it. They're saying Harbaugh should be the replacement. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, assuming you're a Packer fan, Jack, that it's just a brutal loss. And I was talking about this off stream, but as far as LaFleur goes, he, in my eyes at least, he's a good enough coach to remain with the Packers. I mean, he's had a good quarterback in every year he's been there. And the Packers are a consistent playoff team. They've been successful in the playoffs with this Jordan Love, Matt LaFleur regime. I think if it were any other year with any other head coaching pool of available targets and not one that included John Harbaugh, one of the most proven coaches in the NFL today, I think LaFleur would be a surefire returner. I still believe that he should return as head coach of the Packers. But I can kind of see both sides of it here, because John Harbaugh I think he would be an uptick in terms of talent over LaFleur.
I agree. I think that Micah Parsons, the injury there, that's big, and that'll certainly help LaFleur, because he doesn't have the same defense and he can't do as much defensively without Micah Parsons. And with Micah Parsons, I think that makes him a Super Bowl contender. But I agree with that take. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Jack. Parsons, I haven't quite got into the Packer game last night. I'm certainly going to get into that a bunch as this stream goes on. But just quickly wrapping up that point, Parsons is one of, I would say, top 5, if not higher, edge rusher in the NFL today. He's such a key contributor, especially to a Packer defense where he is the clear leader in everything they do. Not having him limited so much of what the Packers could do on the defensive side of the ball. And then something I forgot to mention earlier is McManus. He left 7 points out there, 2 missed field goals and a missed PAT. I mean, that's the difference in the game. If you look at the score, the Bears won by, as my computer takes forever to load, the Bears won by 4 points. Brandon McManus, in my eyes, lost the Packers that game. And I know it's a team sport and you can't pin everything on one player, but the coach's job is to get you in the positions to succeed. And Matt LaFleur certainly did that last night. Matt LaFleur had the Packers everywhere they wanted. I mean, you go up 21-3 in the playoffs, you've got to close that out. There's no other option at that point. It's a terrible, terrible loss. But more than anything, I think it's on McManus. He's the reason the Packers lost. But getting back to what I was saying about the Rams game, and then we got a chat from the Running Bases pod. I completely agree with that guy who just called in. He sounded pretty handsome too. Yeah. Running Bases pod is actually Jack, who just called in. So if you guys want to call him out in the chat, for trying to be a funny guy, by all means, go ahead. But getting back to what I was saying, again, about the Rams, Stafford, so here's the thing with Matt Stafford. I think if he wins the MVP, which I think he will, and if the Rams make a deep playoff run, I think he retires and calls it a career. Running Bases pod. Well, you're not slick, pal. You're not slick. Can I display? I'm using a different streaming software today. I'm not sure if I can display the chats on the screen. I don't think I can. So maybe that's something I've got to look through before our next stream. But if Stafford has the playoff run and Stafford wins the MVP, I think this is going to be it for him. I think he rides off into the sunset and calls it quits. I don't think that's out of the question. I think it's very much on the table. And with Stafford, I mean, what is he, 17-year veteran, 40 years or so years old, it's getting to that time for Matthew Stafford, for him to hang it up and call it a career. And winning that game certainly adds to the retiring side, because I think if they lost in the wild card round, then it could have driven Stafford to come back and play another year, because he's still motivated. He's still hungry to climb the mountaintop again. I mean, he did it a couple years back with the Rams when they beat the Bengals in that playoffs. That was still Aaron Donald was still in the NFL. But I think one more Super Bowl, or at bare minimum, an NFC Championship game appearance, Stafford could do it. And by do it, I mean call it a career. So let's continue working before we got about 10, 15 minutes-ish. Are we back? I think so. A lot of fun. Here we go again with this freezing nonsense. My computer crashing, having to restart. You know, it's a weekly occurrence at this point. I switched to a different software because I want to eliminate that problem. But thus far, we are unsuccessful. In fact, this was one of our quicker freezes yet. Let's see how many minutes. I'm not sure. About 18 minutes, I think we got before freezing up. So, still a work in progress. Let me see. It seems like I should be fine. Like, I'm looking at some of the numbers, and it seems like I shouldn't have an issue, but I don't know why we do. I even lowered some of the settings today to try to eliminate that. But again, it was unsuccessful, I guess. And now I accidentally closed the chat window. How do I get this back? Uh-oh. The chat is still there. You could still type in it, but I closed something. Let's see, is there like a window up here? Docs. There it is. Chat. All right, we're back. We're back. All right, how much time do we got before this game? 4:27, so the Eagles-Niners wildcard game should be kicking off in about 3 minutes or so. As a reminder, you can call in at 848-305-8073. It's right below me, towards the bottom of your screen. But I'm excited for this one. I mean, every other game in wildcard weekend has been electric so far, so I'm really hoping I didn't choose to go live during one of the duds of the weekend, because so far there hasn't been any. I mean, all three of these games have been pure electricity, pure entertainment, peak football. And I'm really excited. Like, my thinking with this Eagles-Niners game is that the Eagles have the ability to turn their offense on at any time. They're playing at home. Their defense is so healthy. And the Niners, yeah, they've been dominant, but they lost week 18 in a game they had to win. I mean, they've got some injuries. I mean, one of their top targets is Ricky Pearsall Jr. And I don't know. I do think that they're going to win because of how good they've been recently. But other than that, I mean, it's the 49ers. And one more thing I'll say before this game gets going is that this Eagles-Niners playoff matchup is turning into some kind of a classic matchup that we've had a bunch of years in a row now, I feel like. The first one my mind goes to is the year where Christian McCaffrey had to play quarterback for a little bit because the Brock Purdy's elbow was snapped. And whatever, the backup was injured too. But whatever. And I'm trying to sign back in to everything now after my computer had to restart, so I lost my train of thought. Let me see. I have to tap yes now on my screen or tablet. Here we go. Yes, it's me. Google is too much. We're trying to sign into everything. It's every little thing you have to sign in 15 different places. Wow, the Niners still do the walkout with the boombox. Both teams are walking out now. So we're getting ready to go. The 6 and the 3 team. I know a lot of Philly fans were very upset at the Eagles' strategy last week. They sat all the starters with something to play for. Because now, after they lost that game and the Bears also lost, the Eagles have to play the Niners instead of the Packers, which in my eyes is a much harder matchup because the Niners, again, like that NFC West was so good this year. All these teams are 12, 13, 14 win teams. Thanks, Running Bases Pod. It's good to see your live streams back up and running, Ben. I have to go for the rest of the stream, but good luck, man. Enjoy the game. Yeah, thanks, Running Bases Pod. We appreciate the support over here. But we're still getting ready to go. I'll get into more as a reminder. Again, I know I've said it once already, but call in 848-305-8073. We had a call in the first minutes of the stream. It was good, quick conversation. But yeah, call in. I'm looking forward to debating with you guys. This is, honestly, it's like the callers, in my eyes, are the best talk of sports talk radio. When the hosts and the callers get into it and it's a good debate and it's fun sports talk, like that's the best part of sports radio. And the thing that podcasts lack the most is no real interaction. Like, yeah, I have the voicemail box where you can leave your messages for me, but then you get to articulate your question how you want it, but I don't get to go back and forth with you. And we don't really get to banter. It's just what you say and then my reaction, and that's the end of the interaction. But with a live call-in, you could be on for as long as you want. Like, we could be going at something for a while. And that's the difference. And we can keep going back and forth, which is going to be a lot of fun. And even with the comments are like the least level of it. Like, when I react to comments, it's because, A, you don't get to speak your question. It's just in writing. And I interpret that as I'm speaking your question into words however I want. And here we go. We've got another caller. Let's get right to it. How's it going? What's your name and where are you from?
What's going on, Ben? This is Jack once again from Bernardsville.
Wow, Jack making his second appearance early in this stream. Jack, what do you got for me this time?
Yeah, so I was wondering, were you watching the Bills Jaguars game? And if so, what did you think about Josh Allen's performance? And if this statement still holds true of, no Burrow and no Mahomes and no Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, is it still wide open? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, Jack. Thanks for your second call of the day. It's so wide open for anyone who wants it right now. I mean, the Bills, and I kind of felt this way about the Bears last night too. No. I felt this way about the Rams. I think the Bills are superior to the Jaguars, just like I think the Rams are far superior to the Panthers. Both of those games came down to the wire. And what I was thinking is, if this team that's better than the other team can squeak by, they're going to go on a run. I feel like it works this way a lot in sports, where if you win a really close game in the playoffs, it kind of, I don't know what it does for your mindset, but these teams seem to go on a big time run. Like a lot of the times, the first playoff game is the hardest to win, just because it's the biggest game of the season, expectations are a lot higher, stress is a lot higher. But once you're able to win that game and you get into sort of a flow in the postseason, then you're kind of good. So I think the Bills are going to go on a nice run here, even though they're probably going to have to play better teams than the Jags as they keep moving forward every week. I think they'll be better suited to do it.
You like them in the Super Bowl?
And Jack, I think the AFC is so wide open. I still feel I can't form a real opinion on this. Like, the Bills are more proven than anyone. They're more battle tested. They've been here so many times. And if they don't break through this year, like you mentioned, with no Allen, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, they are not going to do it, because when Patrick Mahomes comes back next year, and I presume at least one of Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson will be back in the mix, that the Bills are going to have such a tougher path to the Super Bowl than they have right now. Like, if you look at the field right now, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, not tested. Drake May and the New England Patriots, they're not tested. All these teams have so much to prove. Right now, I love the Texans' defense. I know you don't think defense wins championships in the NFL. But right now, if it's not Bills, I don't know when they're going to do it.
All right. I mean, I do love the play design coming out from Coach McDermott up there in Buffalo. So
yeah, Tony,
that'll push him over the top.
Tony Romo was all on that play design too, Jack. Thanks for the call, and I'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, Benjamin.
Anytime, Jack Henry. Another call here. We got a comment in the chat. Eagles defense is playing great. Did that game start yet? I'm always a little bit behind here, down in the studio, but on my screen, the game hasn't started. I might have missed the opening kick during that call, but whatever. So maybe the defense. Oh, he's probably saying coming into the game, the Eagles defense has been on fire. Yeah, the thing I'll say about the Eagles defense is that they've got no injuries, everyone is healthy, and they're clicking. Luger, you're lost, pal. Jack, please let's be a little bit nicer in the chat. Let's show support in a positive manner as we move forward here today. But yeah, the Eagles defense, they've been playing well. I think that's the better part of this team, and entering the season after blowing it up a little bit last year, moving off of some of your top guys after winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, I meant the second half of the season. Yeah, I got that eventually. After you blew it up a little bit and moved off a lot of the big pieces last offseason, I thought the offense was clearly going to be such a bigger point of emphasis with A.J. Brown, with Devontae Smith, with Saquon Barkley, who had an MVP-type season as a running back last year, and of course, still with Jalen Hurts at the helm, I thought the offense was going to be cooking. But I guess they forgot A.J. Brown existed for the first part of this year. The offense looked slow. It didn't look like what we're used to out of Philadelphia. And the defense, like Luger mentioned, was really what kept the Eagles afloat and what kept them atop of a weak NFC East. And I think that's going to be huge because in the month of December, the San Francisco 49ers punted the ball like 2 times or something like that. Your defense has to be so on top of their game today if the Eagles are going to win because the 49ers are going to be out there slinging the ball around. Brock Purdy has had such a good end to the year, and I think after that loss against the Seahawks, I think that was last week, where Purdy kind of disappointed a little bit. He threw an interception late in that game. I think he's going to be ready to go. Did the Eagles and Niners play each other this year? I'm not sure. I feel like they usually play. They definitely weren't a division against division because the Giants didn't play the Niners. Did they? No, the Giants played the AFC West, not the NFC West. Let's see if these teams have played this year, though. I don't think they have. Who's the better tackler coming into today? Lane Johnson for the Eagles or Trent Williams for the Niners? Williams is the guy on the offensive line. Look at this. We have some American flag problems out at Lincoln Financial Field. Who's the better tackler, Lane Johnson or Trent Williams? I think by nature, defensive linemen are better tacklers. But Trent Williams is an absolute beast. He's always a part of the 99 overall club on Madden NFL. But Lane Johnson, I think he's gonna have to get to Brock Purdy. You can't let CMC get out in space. CMC has carried this offense. Never mind the just called out Johnson. Not sure what that one means. But if the Eagles are going to win, they've really got to limit what Christian McCaffrey can do in the open field. I mean, he is the top guy offensively, both on the ground and through the air for San Francisco. So it's going to be a lot about tackling at the first point of contact for the Eagles. McCaffrey's such a good runner. Once he gets into space, once he gets a full head of steam, so agile, he can make a quick move, cut it back, spin move, whatever. That tackling at the first point of contact should be such a big key in this game. All right, both teams are out there. I didn't see who's going to get the ball first. Wow, the Eagles have their crowd striped out. They have, they have an Eagles logo across the seats. I presume it says "Go Birds." I saw "Go." I'm thinking it's birds. What's the other word? Yeah, it is. That's really cool. I think they give like pieces of paper to everyone in the crowd to hold up. That's a good look for the Eagles. You know, I hate Philly fans, but you know it's going to be rocking out there. You know, in Philly, those annoying fans, they're passionate for the teams. I'll give them that. But let's see, man. Personally, I'm going Niners in this one. I don't think the Eagles offense is going to have what it takes to stand up and go toe-to-toe with San Fran. Eagles will have the first chance on offense. No, it's going to be the Niners getting it first. Late afternoon, early evening, out in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Jake Elliott will boot it away. Is that a little precipitation coming down? I don't think so. Return for the Niners is upended at the 23 or 24 yard line. And let's see what Brock Purdy has, man. I think these first two drives, it's all about getting in a rhythm, getting CMC going, quick passes, Work your way down the field, long methodical drives, wear out the defense a little bit, but more importantly, make sure your offense is on point and clicking on all cylinders as you get deeper into this game. Purdy under center to start the night. It'll be a pitch to McCaffrey. Working to the outside, now cuts it up. It's going to be a tackle for loss. All the Eagles rallying to the ball. Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean were both down there from the secondary. And it'll start out as a 2nd and 11 for Philly. Great start to the game. Purdy will look to pass on the next play. Fires over the middle. That's a first down and more. Into Eagle territory. Is he going to take this all the way? Cuts it back, still on his feet. Now past the 20-yard line. Oh, what a reception. And the run after catch was impressive. Man, he just flipped the field. And suddenly, San Fran is in the red area. So much for a long, methodical, drawn-out drive. Why not strike quick? Big time start to the game for the Niners. Here's McCaffrey on the ground again. Gets taken down after a yard. Demarcus Robinson, a 61-yard reception. Made a couple men miss. Just kept running back and forth. Back in the shotgun is Purdy. Looking to pass. All kinds of time. First down, Niners. Christian McCaffrey gets going in the passing game. And suddenly, San Fran is inside the 10. Went up over Adonai Mitchell. And made there. That ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. And McCaffrey still found a way to come down with it. Niners on the good side of the 5. Handoff to CMC. Up the middle. Still pushing. Taken down after a gain of about 3. Really good start here for San Francisco, and a concerning start for the Eagles defense, which is supposed to carry them to victory today. And I was joking about it before I started the stream, but I said, man, all these good wild card games that have gone on so far, I'm going to pick the one dud to go live during. Let's hope that doesn't happen. From the 2.5-yard line, Purdy under center. Motions a man. Now fakes the pitch. He'll look to pass to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Demarcus Robinson. Real quick drive. Just 3 minutes and 9 seconds. And San Francisco's in the end zone. Play action that time. Purdy set his feet. A little wobbling spiral. Robinson got 2 feet in. That's how you start it. That's how you draw it up. Extra point on its way, right down the middle. Niners go up 7. Man, it started with Demarcus Robinson, his 61-yard reception, and then picked up a short little 2-yard touchdown catch. Eagles coaching staff up in the box. Not having it. Well, let's see. How is Jalen Hurts going to answer now? That's the question. Are you going to battle? Are you going to keep going back and forth? Are you going to draw this game out? Or are you just going to fold? You're going to sit down. Well, quite the start from San Fran. Yes, it is. That's exactly what they were looking for. Just quick offensive strike, 60 yards downfield. It was like 30 yards on the catch and then another 30 yards after the grab. But nonetheless, San Fran had it moving early on. Where are we at here? Let's get back to some talk about the earlier games. Let's get into the Packers-Bears game a little bit more. I mean, such a good game. Third game in the season series between these two teams. Both of them, all three of them, were tremendous. I was sitting there watching that game after the first half thinking, oh, man, I was expecting this game to be so good. You should call into the fan on the live stream. What does that mean? While I'm streaming, have my call. What? I'm not sure about that one. But third game of the season series between those two. And probably the best one yet. Just because of the stakes. The ridiculous comeback. I know it didn't go to overtime like the more recent one did. The second. But that comeback, I mean, 21-3. Crazy blown game from the Packers. And I said it already, but Brandon McManus left 7 points on the table. 2 missed field goals and an extra point. An extra point you shouldn't miss. And one of the field goals was a 44-yarder, which in today's NFL is pretty much a chip shot. We're back here in Philly, getting ready for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense to take the field for the first time. Solid return up past the 35-yard line for Philadelphia. So Jalen Hurts has good field position to start this game. I apologize for the ringtone going every once in a while. It's not calls. Let me fix that real quick. All right, now we're good. Eagles will start at the 37. Hurts under center. Handoff to Barkley. Right up the middle. Solid gain, 2 or 3 yards. If the Eagles are going to go on another Super Bowl run, which I don't think they're going to do because they don't have it this year, Saquon has to get going. After that MVP type season he had in 2024, 2025 was a complete different story for him. He didn't have it. He didn't have the same acceleration, that burst of speed, that quickness he had last year where he could just push through the pile and explode. Here's another handoff to Saquon. Counter. Saquon with room to run into Niner territory down close to the 30-yard line. Big time rush from Saquon Barkley, and the Eagles are on the move. Well, the Niners had a big play to kickstart their drive, and now the Eagles have the same. Barkley found the open space and took advantage of it. I don't know if that play was designed to be a counter, but Barkley made it into one. And I'm sure Nick Sirianni's not complaining after that gain. Here we go. Eagles at the Niner 32. Handoff goes back to Saquon up the middle. 4 or 5 yard rush. That's what you're hoping for every time on those kind of first down opportunities. Set up second and manageable. Stay on schedule. Stay ahead of schedule. If this game ends up being like that Niners-Bears Sunday Night Football matchup from a couple weeks back, I think that was week 17, I would not be complaining. An offensive shootout, both teams couldn't be stopped offensively. I think San Fran came out on top of that one. Hurts will look to pass for the first time today. That's a first down. A.J. Brown's got it. Wow. First target of the game goes to Brown. That's different. Very different from what the Eagles have done this year and forgetting that A.J. Brown exists a lot of the time. Now the Eagles have it in the red zone from the 17-yard line. Handoff back to Saquon is faked. Now it's dumped off. I think that's Dallas Goedert. Pick up a couple yards. But here we go, man. Eagles moving. Niners already have a quick touchdown on the board. 9:15 to go in the first quarter. If the Eagles offense can get hot, I think this game will be an offensive shootout. The Niners offense is just so good that I don't think the Eagles are really going to be able to stop that much. Here's a pitch to Devontae Smith. Cuts it back. Accelerates for about 3 yards. Make it 4. And it'll bring up the first third down of the game for either side. Nice 3rd and 2. 3rd and short. 3rd and 3, I guess. Hurts starts in the gun from the 10-yard line. Handoff. It's Barkley to the outside. First down. Saquon Barkley picks up a first down, but not much more. First and goal, Philly. Just navigating, traversing through the defense. He's been able to do pretty much whatever he wants to start this game. First and goal from the 6.5. Pitch to Barkley, working to the right side. And now he gets inside the 5-yard line. So the Eagles, after the first big rush from Barkley, kind of slowing the pace down a little bit, taking a little bit more time. As now the clock ticks under 7 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Bunch formation for Philly. Another handoff. This time Barkley keeps pushing. He's down to the 1. Eagles are on schedule again. Here we go. This is tush push territory from the exactly 1-yard line. Wow, it doesn't seem like they're going to run it. Instead, it's a handoff to the outside. Touchdown, Philly. Dallas Goedert finds the end zone on the initial drive of the game for the Eagles. Jake Elliott will come on to try an extra point to tie this game up at 7 points apiece. But an exciting start to the game. Both teams put up 7 on their opening drives. Elliott's kick Did he miss it? He missed it. Jake Elliott pulls the extra point. Man, kicking is of such importance. And for as good of as the kickers have been this year in the NFL, I feel like this weekend there's been so many, and even going back to that Sunday night football game from last weekend, there's been so many missed kicks. Oh, man. All right. So I said that both teams put up 7 a little bit too quickly. Let's get back to some of the Packers game stuff on the note of bad kicking. Because Brandon McManus left 7 points on the field last night. And just relating it again to the coaching situation for Green Bay. That's not Matt LaFleur's fault. Matt LaFleur has the Packers in a position where McManus is supposed to do his job and kick field goals for a living. He's paid millions of dollars to kick field goals. You can't be missing that many. You can't be missing that many. Especially in the playoffs. A regular season game, whatever. But McManus missing those field goals, I don't want to say single-handedly, but pretty much single-handedly ended the Packers season. Well, it's been a good start in Philly. I mean, a lot of offensive fireworks. And that's what it's going to be. It's going to be who's going to step up, who's going to make the big play, who's going to have a big reception, who's going to turn nothing into something like Saquon Barkley did, cutting that 30-yard rush back and working upfield, making a 60-yard grab on the first pass attempt of the game like Demarcus Robinson did. Who's going to make the big play and who's not going to make the big play like Jake Elliott did right there. Back from commercial break. See, what was the problem? It looked pretty good to me. Just swept the leg a little bit too much and missed it left. Pulled it. I guess it's a windy day out in Philadelphia as we're going to have a holder on the kickoff. Oh, man, missed extra points in the playoffs are huge. Elliott boots it away. That'll be returned at the 5-yard line. Another solid special teams play from the Eagles on a return. Not letting the Philly returner get up to the 20 or 30-yard line. Yeah, ball is at the 26 for Purdy. Wow, 25-mile-an-hour winds. Second offensive opportunity today. Pitch to CMC. Working upfield. Has a gain of 2 or 3 yards. Next pass is broken up. Intended target was George Kittle. Off his hands. Good defense that time from the Eagle. 3rd and 6. Eagles trying to force a 3 and out. Purdy will fire to the outside. It's complete. Not going to be enough to have a first down, though. Marcus Robinson, after having 270 receiving yards all year, already has probably around 70 in this game with another 3-yard reception rather. Anyway, it'll be a 4th and 3, so Thomas Morstead will come on to punt it away. First punt of the game for either side. Punt bounces out of bounds at around the Eagle 33-34 yard line. And that's where Jalen Hurts will have it. So after some offensive fireworks to start the first quarter, the Niners' second possession is not as successful. All right, man. What are you guys feeling? How are you feeling about Wild Card weekend so far? It's been super exciting, but all of these games have came down to the final drive, to the final play. I, for one, have certainly enjoyed watching. And then even if you want to talk baseball, I mean, Alex Bregman to the Cubs. What a night for the Chicago sports universe last night. I mean, you sign Alex Bregman, you're kind of thinking, hey, whatever. The Bears are down 1 million points at that point. But then they come back to win, and you have Alex Bregman also. Like, that's the kind of night you gotta cherish. Those are the best nights as sport fans. You win a playoff game, and your team makes a huge signing in another sport. Wow, Eagles are 5-0 at home under Nick Sirianni. In the postseason, of course, I think they've played a lot more games than 5 with Sirianni at the helm. Second chance, again, not bad starting field position for the Birds. Saquon, initial handoff, taken down after a gain of 2. Just a yard on the gain for Saquon Barkley. He's been clearly the Eagles have wanted to favor him tonight. 8 rushes to 3 pass attempts. He gets it again here. Cuts upfield. Hit after after a gain of 2. And it'll bring up a 3rd and long. It was a 3rd and 6 for the Niners on the last drive. This will be a 3rd and 7 for Philly. Hurts drops back, fires over the middle. It's complete. Cooper makes the reception, and the Eagles keep rolling. Oh, man, that's huge for the Birds. Now they got a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Here's Hurts. Fakes a handoff. Play action pass. Hurts to the outside. Complete. A.J. Brown, an 8-yard reception. All right, Eagles back in business after a scare on 3rd down. Now, like I said a couple times already, the Eagles offense has to be on today if they're going to win this game. Second and 2. I wouldn't mind the Eagles taking a shot here. Play action. Hurts loads up. Fires way downfield. Oh my God, a terrible throw. Way overshot his man. Dallas Goedert. I don't think Goedert was open, but Hurts threw it about 10 yards too far. Now it's a 3rd and 2. Eagles still on schedule. Handoff to Barkley. Barkley taken down before the yards to gain. Niners defense is going to get off the field, I think. I mean, this is the weird part of the field where coaches like to go for it on 4th and down when it's short enough yardage. Oh, good job shooting the gap that time. 4th and 2, Eagles offense stays out there. Let's see if they snap this or just look to draw the Niners offside. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. 7-6, Niners lead it. Eagles come to the line, 5 wide. 4th and 1.75 yards. Hurts fires. Broke it up. The Niners get a stop on 4th and 2. Big time defensive play. And now they're just a yard or 2 away from being in field goal range. I mean, I don't get it sometimes with these NFL coaches. They love going for it on 4th and down when it just doesn't feel necessary. Like, you can punt there and you have a good chance of pinning San Fran within their own 5-yard line. Instead, they get the ball at near midfield. It doesn't make sense to me. All right, after the break, San Francisco is going to have a prime opportunity to get back on the scoreboard. Another look at that pass. Just textbook defense and a good breakup from the San Francisco DB. Robert Saleh. Brutal play selection and execution. Yeah, that's not the play call there. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why you're going for it. I get you're on the right side of the field and it's a 4th and short, but a short pass like that when you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield, who's been able to carve out about a yard or two on every rush today. I wouldn't have gone for it, but if I was going for it, I probably would have given the ball to Saquon. Here's Purdy in the shotgun. Handoff, CMC. Bounces to the outside, presses the gap. Not too much doing that time. Second and 9. Here's Purdy. Loads up a pass. It's incomplete. Jawan Jennings, the intended target. Cooper DeJean there in coverage. And it'll bring up another long 3rd down here. Let's see where Vic Fangio and this Eagles defense go. Again, really good defense from the defensive back. Brock Purdy will look to pass. Here comes the Eagle pass rush. Purdy has to escape the pocket. Now he's going to run himself. Gets out of bounds after a 3-yard gain. So the Eagles defense gets off the field now. And Niners won't even think about going for it. Hey, it's 4th and 9. Morstead has to punt again. His 2nd of the day. Oh, it's placed perfectly on the 6-yard line. Good backspin. There was a point where it was inside the 5, but Eagles weren't able to get down there fast enough. Niners weren't able to get down there fast enough to down it. Let's see, man. Eagles backed up deep in their own territory. They've got to make something happen here. Good news is they have Saquon Barkley to run the ball. I would assume he's going to get the first touch out of this break. This will be the final play of the first quarter. Eagles come to the line with Barkley in the backfield and 3 wide receivers. Hurts is in the shotgun. Now Goddard motions out wide. Hurts is going to look to pass. Fires to the outside. That's A.J. Brown, an 8-yard pickup. One quick pass and the Eagles are out of their own end zone. And now they're set up to make something happen as we reach the end of the first quarter in Philadelphia. Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles trail by 1. It's 7-6 in favor of the 49ers. Both teams scored 1 touchdown. 49ers Up one. Look, all three of these games have been good. We've got the makings of another good one today, this afternoon, evening, before we get to the Sunday night football game between the Chargers and the Patriots. I think that'll be solid. I don't think either of those teams will advance past the wild card round. It'll probably be the Patriots tonight because the Chargers' offensive line is terrible. They're a team they like to lose. They give up comebacks all the time. And the Patriots, from what I've seen, Drake May is a winner. Don't let that confuse you, though. He's not proven. He hasn't won really a big game yet. The closest thing to it was that Sunday night football game in Buffalo in like week 3. So we'll see if he can put something together tonight. But right now, I think on those first drives where the Eagles and 49ers were able to make something happen, they got one big play each. It's who's going to make the big play, who's going to come up big when it's needed most. And for San Fran, it's been Demarcus Robinson so much. He leads the team in receiving yards by a wide margin in this game, only entering with 200 on the season, though. I mean, that drive alone, he had close to 70. Time of possession battle, the Eagles are dominating, 9:15 to 5:45. I think a lot of that is because that first drive was so quick. It was like 2.5 minutes or so. Here's 2nd and 3 from the Eagle 8-yard line. Handoff to Saquon. That's a first down and more. Eagles down by a point, trying to get that back on this possession from their own 20 now. Hurts calls out some commands. Shotgun snap. He'll look to pass over the middle. It's complete. Devontae Smith up around that first down marker. Eagles are moving now. Both quarterbacks have had a ton of time in the pocket. I think there's been one play where they were forced out of the tackle area. Saquon's got another first down on the ground. Eagles continue to move the sticks. Hurts in the shotgun again. He's calling the game from the line of scrimmage a lot. This is a couple times now on this drive where guys are shifting at the line. He'll look to pass. Here comes the pressure. Fires to the outside and throws it away. Nothing there on first down. Eagles had everything locked up pretty easily. Brings up a 2nd and 10. Here's Hurts, drops back, dumps it off. Devontae Smith hit immediately. It's a 3rd and 10 for Philly. Niners trying to get off the field again. Pre-snap penalties, it's going to be a false start. Throw back, Philly up 5 yards, making it a 3rd and 15. Yeah, the wind is really whipping out there at Lincoln Financial. Eagles go 5 wide. Hurts looks to pass. Loads up and fires over the middle. It's complete. Devontae Smith, does he have enough for a first down? I don't think so. Yeah, he's going to be about a nose short, maybe a football short of having that first down. And the Eagles, there's no way they keep them out on the field again. 4th and 1 from inside their own territory. I don't think they snap this. This is just going to be trying to draw San Fran off sides. Wow, they snap it, tush push, and that's a first down. Such a terrible coaching decision. I mean, if I know the tush push works at such a ridiculous rate, but if you don't get that first down, the Niners are immediately in field goal range. It doesn't make sense to me. San Francisco is going to use their first time out of the half. They need to regroup. Jalen Hurts jogs back out there and joins the rest of his teammates in the huddle. Let's see, man. If the Eagles can go down and take that 4th down conversion and actually turn it into something, that would be huge on this drive. Such a gutsy call going forward on 4th down. From your own 40, 45. Like, teams don't do that. 1st and 10, it's a pitch to Barkley. Gets to the outside and is taken down after a 4-yard pickup. Oh, man, the Niners' blue tent fell over on their sideline. And the goalposts are just shaking in the wind. 2nd and 6 from the midfield stripe. Here's Hurts. Looks to pass. Now turns the other way and dumps it off to Saquon. Saquon follows his blocks. Saquon still on his feet down to the 30-yard line. That's the play the Eagles have been looking for. I mean, Hurts worked through his progressions, found Barkley behind the line of scrimmage, and Barkley had men out there leading the way for him. Had to make one man miss, but after that, he got 2 or 3 nice blocks. Here are the Eagles now in Niners possession from the 30-yard line. Handoff is to Tank Bigsby. His forward progress is upended after about a 4-yard gain. Eagles have to go 6 yards here. Handoff again to Bigsby. That's a first down and more. Bigsby charges ahead for about a 10-yard pickup. Eagles inside the red zone now, threatening to score again. From the 12, faked handoff. No, it's a real handoff. Bigsby works up ahead, gets down to the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the carry. Definitely getting gashed on the ground. Yeah, that's where the Eagles have hurt you the most. That's really been the only area they've been successful in thus far. Saquon's had a nice game. He's been playing better as of late. Just a couple pass attempts that I can even think of from an Eagles perspective. 2nd and 3 from the 10-yard line. Hurts under center. Man in the backfield is Saquon. Barkley gets the handoff, works to the outside. Now has to stop on a dime, tries to cut it back, but is taken down in the backfield. Halfway point of this second quarter. Here's Hurts. Yields a snap. Another handoff. 3rd and 5. Saquon not able to reach the first down marker. Let's see if the Eagles, they're going to stay on the field, man. It's unbelievable. You're leaving points on the board. I know Jake Elliott missed a field goal earlier, but man, Sirianni is so aggressive. This could be a hoax. Shotgun snap goes to Hurts. Handoff. No, Hurts keeps it himself. Fires. Touchdown, Philly. 2 4th down conversions lead to a second Eagle touchdown of the game. Oh, there's a flag on the field. Ineligible man downfield against the Eagles. Dallas Goedert. Guess he slipped out a little bit too far. Now they put the points up? I don't know what went on there. I don't have the sound on in here. But Dallas Goedert caught the touchdown. I don't know how that was overturned. All right, 12-7 Philly. Jake Elliott on for his second extra point of the day. First one doinked off the left upright. This time it's to the left, but it goes through. 13-7 Philly, 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. San Francisco stinks. They always disappoint in the playoffs. Yeah, I think that's kind of been a common theme throughout this era with Purdy, with CMC, even with why can't Jimmy Garoppolo when he was there for a couple years? They've never been able to break through. They've been in the Super Bowl a couple times, but they haven't been able to put the exclamation point on it and win the big one. I still don't know what happened on that illegal man downfield that got rescinded. Nonetheless, it's a touchdown for Philly as the Niners trying to make a run to the Super Bowl and play that game at home. I think they'd be the third team to ever do that. It happened a couple years in a row with Tampa Bay and then the Rams as their kick return is stopped at the 22, 23-yard line. Let's see what Brock Purdy has in store as we wrap up this second quarter. Probably another drive for either team. 2 timeouts for the Niners, 3 for the Eagles. Here's Purdy to the outside. That's complete. All right, man. We're working on another good one here. Eagles up 6 after their second touchdown of the game. 49ers trying to answer. They've got it. Just under 6 minutes to go. In the second quarter here. Still on their own half of the field. I kind of feel bad for Buffalo. It seems like the Patriots are back and the Bills weren't able to win the big one with this group. You think it's too late for Josh Allen and the Bills? If they don't win this year, it will be. If the Bills can't break through without Mahomes, without Allen, now I keep saying without Allen, without Mahomes, without Lamar, without Burrow, as George Kittle is being carted off. Let me see what happened here. That's why they're a commercial break. I missed it. Probably something with his knee. But if Buffalo can't win this year, if they can't win the Super Bowl, really, it's Super Bowl or bust for this group. If they go to the Super Bowl or AFC Championship, I don't see Sean McDermott being fired. Even if they win I guess winning today might even take him off the hot seat. As the Niners have it again in Eagle territory, a second big catch of the game. That's Jawan Jennings. Over the middle, he came all the way across the field. Really nicely placed pass from Brock Purdy. And again, it's the second time I'm mentioning this. A good run after catch. That's so huge for the Niners. They've got it on the Eagle 26-yard line. Kyle Juszczyk is motioned out of the backfield. Purdy, dump off to McCaffrey. Evades a defender, but goes down after a pickup of about 5 or 6. I'll get back to what I was saying. Buffalo has to do it right now because it'll never be this wide open again, especially as the Patriots continue to develop. The Broncos continue to develop. On the NFC side, the Bears aren't going away, I don't think. There's so much young quarterback talent in the NFL right now that Buffalo's kind of got to get it done right now. Second and 4 from the 20-yard line. Brock Purdy under center. Pitch goes to McCaffrey. McCaffrey brought to the grass after a pickup of 2 or 3. Here's a 3rd and 1. McCaffrey stumbled and now he falls. Somehow the Niners drive stalls out because Christian McCaffrey lost his footing. Brock Purdy's still on the field. And I guess the Eagles are going to go to it again. Or the Niners are going to go for it. The Eagles have done it a million times today. Shanahan following in Sirianni's footsteps. I think Buffalo versus Chargers in the AFC Championship. I think Buffalo can be there. I don't know about the Chargers. They just don't win when it matters. That's been the problem for Herbert throughout his career and even, I don't know, in the past 2 years since Harbaugh took over. Now we're going to get a second timeout from San Fran in this first half. Right now I'm thinking Buffalo makes it to the AFC Championship. I like the Texans, man. I think they're a real contender. That defense is just so good. It's overbearing for a lot of teams. So now they're going to bring Eddie Pinheiro out to kick a field goal after trying to draw Philly offsides. And his field goal is true. So it's 13-10. Eagles lead it. Houston's D is legit, but unfortunately their quarterback went to Ohio State. Yeah, as they say, you can never trust an Ohio State quarterback. I don't know if they break through. I don't know if they get to Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. I also don't know if the Bills do. That's the thing. The Bills feel cursed. It feels like they can't do it. But that just might be the history. It might be they're cursed from beating Kansas City. So we'll see. I don't love the Texans going all the way. And like I said, I keep saying it, but it's so wide open in the AFC. All right, I think in the late game tonight, Chargers Patriots. I think it'll be the Patriots. I don't like the Chargers to win. They can never do it, and I think the Patriots are gonna capture at least one win in this playoffs. Drake May is gonna give some encouraging signs, and then tomorrow night, Texans Steelers. I do think it's the Texans. Because I personally don't think Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are that good. Again, that's a game I could see being a blowout. I think that the problem is the Texans don't have the offense. Like, the Steelers aren't going to score that much. They're not a very high-scoring team regardless of who they play, but especially against that Texans defense, it's going to be real hard to score. It's all going to be about what can C.J. Stroud do on the offensive side of the ball? What can the Texans do? There's a stoppage of play. I'm not sure what it's for right now. But Jake Elliott and Eddie Pinheiro were both on the field. Elliott was kind of just wandering around, fake kicking field goals. Pinheiro was getting set with his holder. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half. Eagles trying to extend their 3-point lead back to at least a 6-point advantage. They're hoping to make it a 10-point lead, though, entering halftime. Hurts hands the ball off. Saquon has it. Gets through the first level, but is taken down by the secondary. Pickup of 7. Clock continues to tick now at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I think this will probably be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Still plenty of time for the Eagles to go down the field and score. Play action. Hurts loads it up. Fires downfield. Incomplete. Oh, man. Oh, A.J. Brown almost had a big one. And now he's down grabbing his right leg. Oh, it's the second time the Eagles have gotten play action and fired downfield today. That one was a good throw. The previous one was way too far. Let's see. I want to see the replay of this. Just out of the reach of A.J. Brown's hands. Man, that could have been momentum shifting. And as A.J. Brown walks it off, he continues to grab at that knee. Something to watch out for. Now it's a 3rd and 4. Play clock hits zeros. Do we get a timeout? A flag. False start on the Eagles first. A little bit too quick on the movement that time. Third and 9. With how much the Eagles have gone for today, I don't even know how many yards they need to pick up to make it 4-down territory. To the outside, Hurts takes a shot. A.J. Brown almost hauls it in again off his fingertips. Now it's 4th and 9. We'll get another play before the 2-minute warning. Good coverage on the outside. Brown nice and physical. He had it. He just couldn't hold on to it. Not the drop. Not. I don't know about that play call. I mean, I don't mind taking. I don't know if I'm calling that a shot. It just didn't feel like a high percentage play. Anyway, Eagles will punt it away. And the Niners will have it on their own 23-yard line with 1 minute and 51 seconds to go and 1 timeout. I mean, if you're San Fran, 1 minute 50 is plenty of time to get into field goal range at least. You don't have to work outside the numbers yet because you have that timeout to use. You could also get up to the ball and clock it. So I think everything is still in the playbook. Sirianni wanted a flag on that 3rd down play. I thought if anything was offensive pass interference. No, it's Sirianni and A.J. Brown getting into it on the sideline. I mean, that's the problem with Philly because it can never just be a happy relationship. It's been like this for so long where A.J. Brown is reading on the sideline. He's yelling at people. He's just a problem in the locker room, I feel like. Here we go. Purdy from the 23. Hands it off. Christian McCaffrey gets out to about the 27, 28-yard line. I think A.J. Brown gets traded this offseason. I mean, he very well could. Like, the Eagles didn't target him much at all in the first part of the season, and even once they started throwing it to him a little bit, like, he hasn't been that good, and everything is just a problem. As Purdy goes down, he gets sacked well behind the line of scrimmage. So to bring up a third down. Now, if I'm the Eagles, I might use a timeout, because with a minute and 12 to go, there's a chance you could get a stop and get back into field goal range. Yeah, the Eagles do use a timeout. So they've got 2 left in this second quarter, first half. I think the Giants trade for Justin Jefferson this offseason. I mean, I don't know if this is the offseason the Vikings would be willing to move off of him because, listen, at the end of the day, I know J.J. McCarthy sucked, but they ended up above 500. As Purdy fires to the outside, that's a first down to Marcus Robinson, having one of the best games of his season. They finished above 500. They, in my eyes, should have been in the playoffs. I know that's not how the NFL works, so it doesn't matter what I think. But I don't know if you're moving off of a guy of Jefferson's caliber after going above 500. I mean, listen, I think everybody knows that J.J. McCarthy's not a good quarterback. But if you're in the Vikings organization, the fact of the matter is, he won 9 games. Minute 7 to go. Play action. Purdy lines it up. Escapes the pocket. Fires. Nobody was looking. Is that going to be intentional grounding? It was kind of in the area of Christian McCaffrey, so I don't know if they're going to call anything, but it seems like they're not. Clock stops at a minute and 2 to go. Vikings did it with Diggs a few years ago. Yeah, so it's definitely a possibility. I don't think it's likely to happen, though. But if anyone's going to trade for him, I would love for it to be the Giants. Pair neighbors with Jefferson, 2 LSU receivers on opposite sides of the field. I just don't know if they have the assets to do it. Purdy's going to call a timeout as someone is fired up. One of the Niners receivers. See, what happened here? Someone was saying, Kendrick Bourne wasn't close enough to the line for the Niners to snap it. Here's Purdy. Steps up, fires over the middle. It's incomplete. So now it's another 3rd and 10. Clock stops at 57. Here's the 3rd and 10. Purdy's going to look to pass. Pump fakes, now fires. It's a first down. Somehow, some way, Brock Purdy stepped up in the pocket, pump faked like 5 times, and found a receiver. Pearsall needs to be cut. Dude's never available. Yeah, I mean, he's one of your top targets on the outside this year, and he's not playing the wild card game. As McCaffrey's downed after a pickup of 6. Niners have to move now. No timeouts. Clock continues to run at 25 seconds. Seems like they're going to go no huddle and not spike it. $15. Purdy drops back. Quickly to the throws it away. Awful clock management by Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, I thought he should have gotten his team up to the line and spiked that one. It burned a ton of time. And even going to McCaffrey in the first place, you got to know you got to work outside the numbers so your receivers can get out of bounds there. 8 seconds to go. It's a 3rd and 5. Down and distance don't really matter at this point. The Eagles have a defender that's just looming at the top of your screen, not really defending anyone. And now Sirianni wants to talk things over. Tell his team, don't foul. Because a 15-yard penalty puts the Niners right on the range. Right on the brink of field goal range, if you will. Here it is, 3rd and 5. Purdy drops back. Now he's going to run it himself. The Eagles didn't bring any pressure. And he fumbles the ball out of bounds with a second to go. It's a first down. I don't think the Niners are going to have enough to be in field goal range, though. Because the winds are swirling. The ball stayed in bounds. Did it? They're going to give the Niners 1 second. What a wacky end to this first half. What a wacky end. So Panera's going to come on and try a field goal. No, it did bounce out of bounds. From the other angle Fox showed, it looked like it stayed in bounds the whole way. Are they talking about when Purdy's knee got down? Oh, did his knee go down in bounds is what they're saying. As that would keep the clock running. To me, it looks like it kind of stayed in bounds. I don't know. It goes under review. If it's determined that Purdy stayed in bounds, then the half is over. But if his knee was down out of bounds first, and it was out of bounds. So that'll do it for the first half. 13-10, Eagles lead it. And I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here. About almost 2 hours on live today. So thank you for watching. Make sure you go check out all my socials. Instagram at @thesportspot_Ben. TikTok at the